In an interview with NBC News on the sidelines of the high-level meeting of diplomats from across Africa in Namibia, the AU Chairperson's youth envoy Chido Mpemba says youth in Africa are amongst the worst affected by issues of conflict and violence by virtue of the high jobless rates, migration, and humanitarian crisis. She, however, appeals for the introduction of youth quotas in positions of authority, saying although only a few countries recruit youth envoys, a large majority of African countries are yet to emulate such gestures.
We've also seen such an example of Namibia, which actually took charge in that, where the president of Namibia has an advisor, a youth advisor within his office. And again, that is also, stretched out to Uganda. They have a youth advisor. The president of Uganda is a youth advisor in his office. The president of Ghana is a youth advisor in his office. We want to see it going across the continent, within the 55 member states, that within even such structures, we have young people also advising, at the head of state level, but also not forgetting even in communities, how can we ensure that we bridge that and ensure that even marginalized communities and within the communities, we have young people also taking charge and forming part of, communities and leadership structures at every level.
Meanwhile, the AU's Youth Ambassador for Peace in North Africa, Tunisia's Kholoud Ben Mansour, says issues of violence, post-election tensions, and political instability are causing a great deal of threat on Africa's success stories and require agency in peace restoration.
We are trying to build generations of peace and not generations of violence. So if we grow and we see the generations after us grow by seeing their elders holding guns and tending to violence and calling for hate speech, we will not be building the Africa we want. So this is why the notion of youth ambassadors for peace came, so that we encourage the young people to actually start making actions and to contribute positively within their communities by making projects, by having the capacity building spaces where they can actually learn from one another and strengthen their capacities.
On his part, the AU's acting head of liaison in the Great Lake region of Bujumbura, Gonzague Patrick Baligizi, urged African youth to desist from fleeing the region to explore livelihoods abroad due to instability, saying they should remain defiant and assist in efforts to restore law and order by all means.
The Agenda 2063 of the African Union is more about the youth. When we talk about 63 years after now, maybe some of us will not be there anymore. And then those we are blaming, the leaders, will already be gone. So the responsibility will be upon us. So if we want to go in the Mediterranean Sea and want to flee the continent, who do you expect will come to develop the continent at the end of the day? So we are leaving it to the same people, so we will end up years to come starting blaming, or our children will be blaming us. It's time that we take responsibility. We face the challenges, but we have also an opportunity to discuss about them and to move forward.
Also observed by the African Union Chairperson Musa Faki Mahamat, sought to stimulate dialogue on the promotion of peace, security and stability in Africa. Kaipa Herekanji, NBC News, Windhoek.